Hello, hello, hello. We're back. We're back in business, everyone. How's it going? I need you all to comment in chat to tell me if my mic is working or not. Feels good to be back. I haven't streamed in a while. Streaming's fun. It's a lot easier than making videos, I can tell you that much. Just wait for a few more people to get here. This is a good video, isn't it? What a good video. Even if I say so myself. Don't mind me. I'm on my second beer of the evening. Who else is drinking? I guess it's probably not drinking time for most of you North Americans. I keep going back onto my second monitor, forgetting that that's not the monitor that is being streamed. So it may look like I'm not doing anything, but I'm actually very, very active right now. I'm all over the place. Drinking what? I'm drinking Triple Secret des Moines French beer. It's pretty good. It says here that it won silver at the World Beer Awards. It says France silver. So I guess it was the second best French beer at the 21st World Beer Awards. The Triple. Which I think is a Trappist beer of some kind. But yeah, it's pretty good. In a bit of a Trappist beer phase. You didn't catch my my French? Yeah, I'll type it out. Secret des Moines, which means secret of the monks. I don't really know anything about beers, so I couldn't really tell you the particular kind, type. But it's a pretty strong beer. Pretty tasty. Anyway, let's talk about this video. My only exposition to French has been in movies, so I have no idea how to write it. I mean, yeah, fair enough. Although I noticed that you said my only exposition to French instead of my only exposure to French. So I'm guessing that you're not English either, or American. Where are you from? Or you're just, bad at choosing words. What does your name say? What kanji is that? Oh, it's Gaijin. American, yes, but not English speaking. Huh, interesting. So, what does that mean? Do you mean American as in the continent of America? Or do you mean you're actually from the United States, but you don't speak English? Which would be interesting. Cerf-Volant, hello. Good day to you. How's it going? How's life? Let's get chat going a bit here, yeah, shall we? Okay, the continent, so... Okay, let me guess. Based on only, 4 chat messages, let me guess what American country you're from, shall I? I'm gonna go South America, and I'm gonna say, this is tricky. Is there a statistical way I could figure out? I'm gonna say Brazil. Is Brazil the most populous South American country? It probably is, right? So I'm just gonna go with Brazil. Are you Brazilian? Gaijin man? Don't tell me you're Mexican. That sounded bad, actually. I don't mean because I'm like racist towards Mexicans. But just because I wasn't considering Mexico. Wow, I got it. Damn. That's cool. Yeah, I don't know, is that... Why did I guess that? Why did I assume Brazilian? Is it just because Brazil's big? Or is there... I feel like there's a lot of Brazilian presence on the internet. In like English speaking internet. A lot of Brazilians. Is that true? I don't know. Maybe it was just a lucky guess. That's good. Got some international viewership. What time is it over there? Is that the same time zone as the East Coast? Would it be? Let's look at the time zones. Oh no, I guess, yeah, you're further out, aren't you? Huh. 4:30 p.m. Yeah, I guess you're just one beyond. Actually, two beyond the East Coast. Oh yeah, there's two. Brazil's over 2 time zones. You know what I should do right now, because there's like barely anyone in chat, is I should do some Cetera. Not the United States. Let's do everything. What am I looking for here? Let's do the, what is it, 193 United Nations member states. Let's see if I can get every country right. I shouldn't be able to, because I usually get the islands wrong. But I found a surprising amount of Brazilians on the internet. I never knew where we're from Brazil. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know what that's all about. Is Brazil just... No, this may be a racist presupposition, but is Brazil just have better internet connection than the rest of South America, maybe? I don't know. There's 2 major time zones in Brazil and 2 more that are specific to 2 regions. Huh. Okay. So 4 in total. I didn't know that. sure, I'll just finish a spreadsheet I'm doing it. I'll come back and... Okay. I'll see you in a bit. Okay. I haven't done this in a while, so probably be a bit rusty. Philippines. Let's not start off with a stupid mistake, shall we? So, Indonesia. Philippines, yeah. And here we go. Right out the bat with Antigua and Barbuda. Okay, so it's not here, not here, not here. Is it here? That's Grenada, right? Fuck. Oh, it was that one. God damn it. Well, that's one mistake already. That's okay. I'll accept any mistakes on the islands. The Polynesian islands and the Central American islands here, Caribbean and all that. I'll accept mistakes there because I know that I'm going to make mistakes, but I won't accept any mistakes on here. When I say I won't accept mistakes, I mean that if I make a mistake, I'll just be angry with myself. Let's zoom in a bit, shall we? Cyprus. Nigeria. Australia. Austria. You know, I always confuse Austria and the Czech Republic, which is stupid because obviously. See, I just did it again. I think it's because of the whole history with Germany. You know about that. I always assume that like Austria is the closest one to Germany. Grenada, I just clicked on Grenada. Belarus. Chile. St. Kitts and Nevis. So that's this one, right? Vanuatu. I memorized these not long ago, but I've already forgotten them. Damn. I just cannot remember. This is Fiji, right? It's not... This is Nauru? Fiji? I know these ones, the outside ones, but it's this lot in the middle. I can never remember. I'm gonna go with... that was a lucky guess. I won't pretend. Oh, it says the capitals here, that's good. Iraq. Iraq here. Namibia. Angola. Wait. Shit, I'm bugging out here. Namibia. Is it this one or this one? Damn. What's this one? I'll remember it when it comes up. Liberia. Netherlands. Kazakhstan. The Bahamas. It's the Bahamas, right? Yeah. Felt stupid for a second there. Kenya. So I always get tripped up here. Kenya. No, Kenya. Kenya. Seychelles. So this is... No. Wait, which one's which? Mauritius, right? Seychelles? Comoros. Seychelles. This is Mauritius, this is Comoros. I forgot about Comoros. Barbados. Barbados is... what, this? Germany. Good old Germany. Indonesia. Indonesia. Tajikistan. So we've got... okay, Tajikistan. Uzbekistan. Fuck. I shouldn't get that one wrong. Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan. Okay, so the T's are, yeah, on the bottom. Malaysia. Malaysia. Uganda. This is because I've had 2 beers. Otherwise, this would be 99% correct, at least. 77 is terrible. Uganda. Alright, this is where it gets a bit tricky. Uganda. There we go. Cambodia. This guy over here, Lithuania. No, Estonia. Lithuania. Jordan. Jordan, yeah. Don't know why that. Tunisia. I always... yeah. Solomon Islands. Okay, so Solomon Islands. We're looking at... I always forget. Is it this one? Okay, so yeah. Finland. Slovenia. Tricky. Saudi Arabia. Dominican Republic. Almost forgot for a second. Marshall Islands. So that was this one, right? North Macedonia. China. Kuwait. Portugal. This is another one that I always get confused. Luxembourg and Liechtenstein. Which is stupid, really. Bolivia. Wait, what? Okay. Well, that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. Damn. How did I... You know what? South American countries, they're all the same, right? Poland. Somalia. Spain. Cape Verde is this? What's this one? Sorry. My bad. To all the Cape Verdeans out there, my bad. Republic of the Congo. What's this one, right? Guatemala. Okay, so Central America is the other one that I always fuck up on. Okay, close enough. Close enough. Burundi. What's Burundi again? Huh. I've just completely forgotten the existence of this country. What the hell is Burundi? Sorry to all the Burundians out there. But where is Burundi? Burundi, is it? It's not, right? Oh shit, it was. I just misclicked. I literally misclicked 2 times. Okay. Well, at least I kind of knew which one it was. France, the greatest country in the world. Yemen. Yemen. UAE. I almost clicked on Bahrain then. Syria. Lebanon. 76%. I mean, what are we doing here? What's even the point? That's terrible. I'm not even paying attention to the time because God knows. Zimbabwe. So we're getting into the Z's here, which is going to be tricky. Mozambique, Zambia, Zimbabwe. Yeah, I knew it. Bulgaria. Maldives. That's this, right? Yeah. The Gambia. India. Good old India. East Timor is this. Fiji. So I believe this is Fiji. It's this Fiji. Shh. So even that I got wrong, which was the only one I was kind of sure about. God damn it. I'm very rusty. Guys, let me know if I mess up your country. I know we have an international viewership here, so let me know. Vietnam. Vietnam is this bad boy over here. Uzbekistan. Trinidad and Tobago. Angola. Guyana. Hungary is here. Tanzania is there. Zambia is here. Israel is there. Okay, so this is the other one that I always get fucked up on. It's this one, isn't it? Yes. Yes! I always get that one wrong. Togo and Benin. I always get mixed up because they're like the same shape. Afghanistan. Afghanistan, Cuba. For some reason I always hesitate for Cuba. Sierra Leone is so Ivory Coast, Sierra Leone. No? No? Ivory Coast here, yeah. Okay, fair enough. I want to get up to at least like above 85%. If I'm below 85%, then I'll just kill myself, to be honest. Sweden. Costa Rica. I finished my beer. Hey Gaijin. Don't look at me. Don't look at what I'm doing right now. It's embarrassing. Sub 80% is just ridiculous. Come on, man. Palau is this one, right? Yeah, Italy. Good old Switzerland. Paraguay. I haven't got to your homeland Brazil yet. Djibouti is this one. Belize. Take a trip to Belize, Ukraine. Tuvalu. Okay, so here's another tough one. Oh, I got it. Nice one. Who else is in chat? Who else we got in chat? Come on, guys. At least make fun of me for only doing 80%. You're better than most Americans, which isn't high praise, but to be expected. Well, yeah, I mean, I would hope I'm better than most Americans. Come on. I mean, I'm aiming for 100%, so 80% is just disappointing. But just to clarify, I have done. I used to be able to do 100%. I think my record was like 6 minutes, something like that, 6 or 7 minutes. But yeah, it's been a while, so some of these countries, like for example, Central America. How am I supposed to remember that that's Guatemala, this is Nicaragua, this is Honduras? It's the opposite. Fuck. So annoying. It's so weird that like certain continents, like Africa and Asia, I can almost, I mean, you can see there's a couple mistakes here, but I can almost nail them perfectly. But Central America, which has like 5 countries, for some reason I just can't figure out. It has to have something to do with like the geography of it, because they're all like lined up vertically. For some reason it makes it harder. I don't know, or maybe they're just because they're small. I don't know. New Zealand. Unless you play that every day. I don't play that every day, no. I do not play this every day. I do this like once every 3 months or something, just to make sure that I still have it. And I don't still have it. I've lost it. Colombia. Thailand. So that's Laos, right? Thailand's here, yeah. United States. Malta, Mozambique. Rwanda. Mauritius. Île Maurice. Ecuador. Mexico. Dominica is close enough. Bolivia is really bothering me here, because especially the red, because when it's red, you know that I made the mistake like 3 times. Like yellow means like I just missed it by 1, like I made 1 mistake. Orange is 2 and red is 3. So for some reason I was confusing Bolivia with Colombia, and yeah, that's embarrassing. Ah, god damn it. Ethiopia. Sorry, I just bugged out for a second there. Ethiopia. Chad, that's easy enough. So now is this one, I believe. Yes. Croatia. Comoros, Ivory Coast. Is this one or this one? Yes, nice. Madagascar. One of my close friends from Madagascar. Just a little factoid for you. Bahrain. Kiribati, one of my favorite names for a country. Kiribati. Don't know why I like that, but it's a nice sound. Rolls off the tongue. Andorra. Denmark. Guinea-Bissau. Got it right though. We got it right, guys. Sorry, Equatorial Guinea. Japan, good old Nippon. The UK, from which I hail. Niger, Malawi, South Sudan, Argentina. See, 83%. I said we have to get to at least 85%. And we're on our way. And obviously the further you get, the easier it gets because the less options you have. Eswatini. Monaco. But it's Botswana. I couldn't remember earlier what this one was. Botswana, Nepal. Nepal. Pakistan. I haven't done any of the things I said I was going to do yet. For some reason I'm just doing this now. Papua New Guinea. Papa people. It's a reference to Carl Pilkington there, Ricky Gervais show. Papa people. It's a deep cut, that is. Burkina Faso. Qatar. San Marino. South Korea. Tonga. Fuck. So close. North Korea, Samoa. Samoa. I'm gonna have to figure out Polynesia eventually. Mauritania. Come on, let's finish this off quickly, shall we? Moldova, Iran, Estonia, Libya. Libya, why am I tripping out on Libya? South Africa, Bosnia, Herzegovina is there. Norway, good old Norway, good old Greece. Get them out the way. Mongolia. Okay, we're at 85%, guys. Looking good. Montenegro. Bangladesh. What am I missing here? Laos. Why am I... Wait a second. That's Myanmar. I couldn't think which. What was the other one? Suriname, Georgia, what are we looking at here? Georgia, Slovakia, Ireland, Venezuela, Sudan, Myanmar, Guinea, Russia, Czech Republic, Albania, Nicaragua. Okay, this is easy now. Ghana. Just finish my beer. Oh, sorry, Ghana. I was thinking of Gabon. Just taking a swig of. Yeah, it's that right. Ghana, Gabon, Armenia. It's here. Jamaica, Romania. What is your podcast going to focus on? Well, I'll get to that as soon as I finish this. Don't you worry. I'll be finished in about 30 seconds. Shit. Sri Lanka, Cameroon, Latvia, Serbia, Lesotho, Peru, Senegal, Belgium, Singapore, Turkmenistan, El Salvador, Iceland, Algeria, Azerbaijan, St. Lucia, Togo, Eritrea, Bhutan, Sao Tome, Principe, Brunei, Laos, Luxembourg, Turkey, Mali, Egypt. I think that was a bit more than 30 seconds, but not far off. 87%. Devastating. It's terrible. Damn. Yeah. I need to get back in the groove here. I'd like to see you do better, chat. You did a lot better than I would have. Yeah, I mean, I have done it before. I'm disappointed with 87% because, you know, I've done 100% because I've actually, you know, trained. But 87% is still, I can only assume well above average. And not just for Americans. I know we meme on Americans for being bad at geography, but let's be honest. Most people are shit at geography. But anyway, let's get to it. I haven't done anything yet. I've been streaming for like almost an hour, 3/4 of an hour. I haven't done anything. And I need a piss. Guys, don't leave. Please. I'm just gonna go for a piss. If I'm not back in 35 seconds, you're allowed to leave. Okay, I think that was more than 35 seconds, but not by much, surely. Okay. Took a little more. Okay, guys. Is a 35 seconds piss concerning? Is that is that cause for concern? Really? Yeah. No, I was going to talk about the video a little bit. I don't know what I was going to say about it. I guess I was just going to say that this is kind of what I'm going to be aiming to do on a more regular basis. So the original plan was to do consistent shorter videos. Like, I think I spoke about this on my last stream, which was like 2 weeks ago. But I've had the genius idea, sorry. That's the 2 beers speaking. I had the genius idea of making shorter videos. Instead of every time I have an idea for a video, let's say, for example, let's take this video as an example. Let's say I'm watching an Ozu film and I have a really brilliant observation, as I always do. Instead of saying, I'll write that down and eventually I'll make a big Ozu video where I'll mention that particular observation. Instead of doing that, how about I just make one shorter essay about that particular observation, you know? Because those big videos that I imagine, they never get made. So in the end, I just end up not making any videos. So how about every time I have an interesting idea, I just turn it into a little video, so I can get them out like maybe not every week, but like every 2 weeks maybe. Now this turned into a kind of mid-sized video, 20 minutes. Like, I was aiming for a 10-minute video, really. But then again, I was talking about 2 filmmakers in this video, so it kind of makes sense that it would be a bit more developed. Hopefully my future videos a few of which I already have kind of lined up, will be shorter than this. Although to be fair, it didn't take that long to make, so it's okay. Agreed, shorter videos would be good for individual films. I mean, yeah. The next video I'm going to make will be about a Jacques Rivette film. I won't say which one, but it's about a Rivette film. And it should be a lot shorter. Like, maybe even below 10 minutes. I just want to get loads of shorter videos out. Not just so like I have more like ad revenue or whatever, more views, but like just to kind of get back into the groove and practice my like essay writing abilities. It's the best way to get good, is to just be always writing. So this is kind of the first iteration of what will hopefully be a long series of shorter essays. I already have like 3 or 4 lined up. One is about one specific film. Another is about a filmmaker. And then there's another one that's about anime. Well, manga/anime. And it's more of a kind of general observation. That one I think will be really good and will probably draw in more views because it's about anime. But that one I'm not sure if it will be... I mean, it definitely won't be 10 minutes long. Probably won't be a short video. Probably be at least 20 minutes, but I'm looking forward to making that one. Let me turn this music off, it's kind of pissing me off. But yeah, so in terms of videos, that's the plan for now. It's just keep making kind of short essays. As soon as I have an idea, just write it down, develop it, and immediately turn it into a video. Because my problem is that I just lose interest way too fast. Thanks for turning it off. Was it that annoying? I mean, I turned the volume down, so it shouldn't have been that loud. Was it loud? Anyway. Yeah, it was distracting me. What was I saying? Yeah, I lose focus really quickly. So like I go through phases. So I'll be in like a film phase where I'm just like watching loads of films and having loads of ideas for videos about specific films or specific filmmakers or whatever. Then I'll be in like an anime phase and I just want to talk about anime. And so the problem is when you plan like big videos, like massive videos, is that if you're like me and you go through these phases really quickly, you end up never really... you end up never actually making the videos because before you know it, you're onto a new phase. So you don't actually have time to make the videos before you get into something else. So if I make shorter videos, the idea is that like I won't have time to lose interest. As soon as I have an interesting idea, I'll be like, yeah, that's cool. Let me write that. Let me make it into a video, and then I can move on to the next thing. So yeah, hopefully I'll be a lot more productive, a lot more prolific. Is there a specific anime you're thinking of? Well, Monogatari call. Yeah, no, it's not going to be the Monogatari video, I'm afraid. That one will have to wait. That one doesn't fit into the short video philosophy, but it's always in the back of my mind. Don't worry. That video is like the like the holy grail of my my channel. It'll come out eventually, trust me. But no, this video I'm talking about is also a video I've had in mind for a while, but I don't really want to say which anime. Which anime I'm going to be talking about. I guess it doesn't really matter. One of the anime I'm going to be talking about is Girls Last Tour. That doesn't really spoil what the general concept of the video will be, but one of the main case studies of that video will be Girls Last Tour. But it's not just specifically about that series. Minky Momo, perhaps. What? Okay, guys, what's going on here? Are you doing an intervention? Are you here to remind me of all of the massive projects that I've announced in the past and never gotten around to? Although, to be fair, for the Minky Momo video, I do have an excuse, because the sequel series has never been subbed to my knowledge. So at least for that, I have an excuse to keep waiting, because I will be talking about the sequel series as well. I mean, I already have I've watched the first 10 episodes of the sequel series, the Minky Momo sequel series, and I pretty much grasped what was going on, and I took loads of notes, so I could technically already make the video, but I do want to watch the entire thing, so I have all of the examples that I could possibly need to make my arguments in that video. I'm just interested in Minky Momo, really. It's been my favorite anime for a while, the second season. Yeah. I mean, I love Minky Momo. I think it's great. I genuinely have moments where I think to myself, but maybe I'm just going crazy, but I just think to myself that it's genuinely one of the most important anime of all time, if not one of the most important, I don't know, series of all time. It's great. The ending really ties everything together. You should watch it in its entirety. The ending of the sequel series. Yeah, I mean, I look forward to watching it. I've seen the OVAs and the original series, but yeah. The Girls Last Tour manga and the Blu-ray are on a shelf right next to me right now. Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's a good series. It's solid. Very interesting. But I'm interested in it with respect to a particular context that I won't get into right now. You've never heard of Minky Momo? I mean, don't get your hopes up. It's a children's show. It's a magical girl children's show. So if you don't go into it with the specific mindset and specific kind of insanity that I have, you might not like it. Or you might just think it's kind of whatever, but I find it very interesting, especially in the context of the scriptwriter Takeshi Shudo's career and everything else he wrote. I find it interesting in that context, and in a different, larger context that I definitely do not have time to go over right now, but I will get into eventually. That's an even larger project. Hello, you should make a Marvel Cinematic Universe retrospective. No, actually. No, I shouldn't. Because that would necessitate me watching all of the Marvel movies and having something interesting to say about them, which I definitely do not and definitely will not. If you like it, I assume it's a bit surrealist. Surrealist, I mean, it depends. It really just depends where you're coming from and what context you have. Like if you're familiar with the kind of magical girl animes that came before Minky Momo, it'll stand out to you as an entry in that genre because it's very different. If you don't have much familiarity, you'll probably just watch it and be like, okay, I guess it's just a magical girl show about a girl who turns into an adult woman and saves the day in every episode. But yeah, there's a lot going on in that show. It's very interesting. Yeah, Minky Momo is among one of the most influential series I know of, considering all the staff that worked on it. It's just rivaled by Dokonjo Gairu and Gundam, really, in terms of influence. I mean, I don't know about that. I guess it depends on how you're defining influence. But I'm sure there's more influential anime than Minky Momo, Gutsy Frog, and Gundam, surely. I mean, Gundam, right, of course, but... The influence is not part of the appeal for me, but the almost religious experience it provides. Yeah. I mean, I agree with you on that. I have a very specific entry point for Minky, a very specific way of viewing it. So I assume we don't have the same perception of the series, but my relationship with Minky Momo has I don't know if I would say religious aspect to it, but maybe kind of mythical. Yeah, but that's stuff that I'll get into when I make that video. 1982, I wouldn't have guessed. Yeah, the original Minky Momo. It's pretty old. Did you like the ending of the End of Evangelion movie? Did you hear people were speculating that Shinji and Asuka were the new Adam and Eve? What are these questions, man? Did I like the ending of the End of Evangelion movie? I mean, I've made a few videos about that, so go check those out. The perspective that Momo is the sacrificial lamb for humanity. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Momo is a Christ-like figure. I mean, that's undeniable. Yeah, but I mean, my perspective on Minky Momo, has a lot to do with the whole mythical aspect, what you might call religious stuff, the genre stuff, how it fits into a whole tradition of treating our relation to imagination, and the idea of what's it called, desacralization in modern society, and how Minky Momo is this figure who reunites modern people, modern society with imagination, with our mythic past, and all that. But yeah, the famous episode where Minky Momo dies is it's funny because it's become a bit of a meme, but that's just the first half of that episode. The second half of that episode is this End of Evangelion level transcendent experience to me, and it's kind of sad that I don't know. I feel like Minky Momo gets, maybe in the popular consciousness, probably just gets reduced to being one of those magical girl shows, and the one that happened to like kill off its main character because of behind the scenes kind of reasons, when it's actually just a genuinely like incredible work of fiction. Yeah, I did a small video on it. The question was if you heard that before. The Adam and Eve, Shinji and Asuka were the only two left on Earth. It's just a theory. Yeah, I mean, I talked about it in my video. So at the end of Evangelion, we're left with Shinji and Asuka, and because of the kind of primal state of affairs, it's a kind of rebirth of humanity, a rebirth of the world. So obviously when we have a male and a female character just alone on a beach, not that Adam and Eve were on a beach, but just in a kind of desolate environment with no other humans and no other like human constructs, obviously the Adam and Eve imagery springs to mind. So it's I mean, it's not really a theory. It's not like there's an answer to it. It's just one way of looking at the scene that makes a lot of sense, I would say. It's my favorite episode of any anime, just behind Yume or Dakishimete, last episode, but also how it's been reduced. Is that it's killed its creator? Yeah, I mean it's an incredible episode. It's an incredible episode. Yume o Dakishimete. What is that? Yume o Dakishimete. Oh, the sequel series. Sorry, my bad. Well, yeah, I mean, I haven't seen the last episode, so I don't know. But now I have. You've hyped me up for the ending of Umimomo. I look forward to seeing. I mean, I to be fair, like so far from the episodes that I've seen of Umimomo, I actually prefer. I mean, in terms of like animation, the aesthetic. It's more. I don't know. Even the setting, like the premise, is more appealing to me. And yeah, it's on Crunchyroll. They recently did. Well, they recently translated all of it because it was being subbed by, I think, Inca Subs, and they were kind of bummed out when Crunchyroll decided to release the whole thing. So I don't know if Crunchyroll's going to do the sequel series or not. I never recognize the Japanese title. I always get it confused because the OVAs all have like Dream in the titles, so I always get the names of the OVAs and the sequel confused. Yeah. Anyway. Was helping Inca with quality check on Meme Key and can say most of the stuff was. They were glad they picked it up because it was like a long series that they had to translate, so they don't have to do the work anymore. You know, fair enough. What are they doing at the moment? Are you working on anything else with them at the moment? They're doing Gutsy. Were they doing Gutsy Frog? I can't remember what they're doing at the moment. Why did they regret picking it up? Was it too complicated? I mean, I know that Takeshi Shudo is known for like having a very particular kind of dialogue style. Like, I don't know if it's like wordplay or stuff like that, but it's a very original writing style. Did that have anything to do with it? Or was it just because it was like a long series and they didn't want to have to do the whole thing? Important question. Are you a Tominoid? Yes, I am. I am a Tominoid. a Tominoid. Yeah, I am. Well, from what I've seen of his shows, I am anyway. I haven't seen everything he's done. But yeah, I have that particular kind of autism. The Tomino autism. I'm just on Fight Deputa, Memole, and fuck. Muno Hakuge. Okay, that's cool. I didn't know they were doing. Oh yeah, I saw that they were doing Puta. I didn't know they were doing I'll just call it the whale show. What is it? Is it a whale or a dolphin or whatever? And Mimol, or however you say it. That looks like a pretty good show. I downloaded the Raws a while ago, but it has a really cool like fairy tale aesthetic, which appeals to me. So I look forward to watching that. I didn't know they were subbing that. Ah, fellow intellectual. Yes, indeed. Indeed. Talking of Tomino, isn't that a Tomino show? Or am I confusing it with the other similar one? Mu no Hakuge. That's a Tomino show, right? Okay, cool. No, I'm confusing it with the other one. What's the other show called that's kind of similar? That's kind of like an Atlantean kind of thing, and it's the Tomino one. I always get them confused. Umino Triton, that's the one. Yeah. I always get those confused. Tetsuo Yamazawa. Okay, cool internet. Ayakashi? Oh, he did Godmars as well. Kinnikuman as well. What's Montana Jones? Okay, this ad's kind of annoying. Is this Indiana Jones with animals? Huh, how have I not heard about this? See, this is what happens every time I look something up. I just click on the director's filmography and then I just discover loads of shows that I add to my watch list and just never watch. Let's see what this looks like. When are Inca subs going to translate Montana Jones? That's what I want to know. That's how you discover good shows and movies and all that. Yeah, I mean that's how it works.
Montana.
But I always end up like going on the same like directors' pages over and over again. But because I'm really bad at remembering Japanese names, I can never remember who did what. And so I'll just open someone's filmography and I'll be like, oh yeah, he's the guy who did this and this and that. What happened with Jungle Taite? What happened? I mean, if you tap into the furry fandom, surely that's a good thing, right? It just adds more viewers. This looks great. Yeah, this is furry bait.
Acaban de traerme. Ten cuidado, es muy frágil. No hay otro igual en todo el mundo. ¿Y qué es? La serpiente alada. Era el guardián de los templos mayas. Y por supuesto es de oro.
Gracias por la aclaración, pero dime, ¿qué hace aquí?
Nos la ha enviado el profesor Gerit. Estaba en un museo alemán.
¿Gerit? ¿El que fue tu profesor?
Así es. Creo que esto le permitirá descifrar la clave de los escritos mayas. Lleva años intentando descubrir su misterio.
Es la oportunidad que está
Greetings, Jamal. Sorry, I missed your message there. Yeah, sorry, I'm just watching Montana Jones here. This will be our background noise. You could probably infer who I am by the information provided today in the chat. That seems highly presumptuous of you. Are you famous? Are you a famous gaijin man?
Espera un momento.
Adiós, Montana.
Espera. Me estoy quemando. Ay, ay.
Tomino's Ideon be invoked. My interest for retro anime, they're mostly just mecha. Don't know what that means. Sorry. Are you keeping your identity a secret?
A veces me pregunto si está valorado este trabajo.
The shining sound effect from Mickey. Was it? I missed that. Anyway, let's not get lost on Montana Jones. What was I looking at? I saw something else earlier as well that intrigued me. What was it? Oh yeah, all my konbo. What is this? Like a gag thing? What is this, man? Every time. Ashrambo, okay. Tsuribaka Nishi. Diary of a Fishing Fool. What's this stream about? What do you mean, man? I was going to talk about my podcast that I'm working on, but now we're just getting lost in the weeds a bit. But the stream's not about anything. We're just hanging out. We're just chilling. Just, you know, get with the vibes, man. Okay. Let's look at this. Wait a minute, what? It's from 2002. Watch parties would be fun for obscure 80s anime. Yeah, watch parties could be good. To do on stream, you mean? Yeah, I just have to make sure it's not something that will get copyright striked. But yeah, watching like old anime, of course. Of course. If you guys have any ideas for specific shows that you'd want to watch, that you haven't seen before, but that intrigue you maybe, just let me know. Get with the vibes. I was never offered any drugs, if you mean that. I mean, we're not about drugs here, man. I'm just drinking some beers. That's as far as we go here. Uzumaki comes out soon. 10 years in the making. Yeah, I saw the trailer. I mean, it looks... Some of the character animation looks kind of bland, a bit janky. Like, the parts that are good just look good because it's like, oh, wow, that's cool to see that, you know, panel from the manga animated. Whoa, how trippy, you know? Like, it's just like, oh, I feel like it's only going to be good or cool to the extent that it's just an animated version of the manga. Which would be kind of disappointing because the director is the director of Akunohana and Mushishi, right? So he's like really good at that kind of atmosphere. But yeah, the trailer I did not find the trailer appealing at all, really. It was just like, yeah, that's that image from the manga, but now it's in motion. So yeah, I wasn't impressed, but I mean, I'll probably watch it when it comes out. Dangayo is my suggestion. Dangayo is the one with that's the OVA, right? I believe I've seen Dangayo. Yeah, I've seen this. I wasn't that into this, to be honest. Like, I like kind of weird, old, kind of trippy mecha anime, but this one, yeah, I wasn't that into. I mean, there's some cool stuff, but it definitely felt like a truncated, 3-episode OVA. I haven't read it, but those were my thoughts as well. The music should be nuts, though. Yeah, I guess I didn't really pay attention to the music in the trailer. What was the music like? Oh no, yeah, I think I do remember thinking the music was cool.
渦巻きというものに何やら神秘的なものを感じるんです。いや、絶対に何か不思議な力が秘められてる。
これを見ればあなたもきっと。
やっぱり渦巻きだ。
Yeah, okay, the music sounds
私た
pretty
ち
cool.
はまだ気づいていませんでした。なんだか変なの。ちょっと私の顔見てくれない？
どうしようもないんだ。
I mean, it still looks cool, like the spiral scenes, but like I don't know how.
手遅れに。
Like it's not really adding much. I don't know how transformative this adaptation will be. Yeah, oh yeah, I remember this music, yeah. This was cool. This is good music, yeah. But yeah, I feel like you just need to find a way to capture the essence of Ito's stuff, but like do it in a way that's novel for the medium of animation, you know? 70% of manga adaptations, yeah, I mean, sure, but this one even more so because it's like literally in black and white. They're obviously trying to just be as faithful as they can to the manga, which is good, but also like, are we really gonna, you know, does that make this a pointless adaptation? I don't know. Ixawan or however you pronounce that, yeah. How many episodes? So another 3-episode OVA. Is going to be so bad? I mean, I don't think it'll be bad. I just think it'll be like whatever. It'll just be the manga, but you know, it'll just be a moving manga. They've had the time to get it right, in theory. Yeah. But I think they just spent that time getting it like perfectly the same as the manga, is my impression. The movie cut may be better. Sure, if you say so. What is it? What does it look like? Okay, it's got some girls kissing. It's always a plus. Yeah, looks like your pretty standard 80s sci-fi fare. Could be a good show to chill out to. What's that other OVA that's like Star Wars? Sorry, it's not like Star Wars. But it's like a sci-fi thing, and it starts on like a desert planet, and god damn it, what's it called? I watched the first episode way back. The main character is this girl who's is either some kind of bounty hunter or gets involved with some kind of bounty, something like that. There's some kind of bounty hunter type thing involved. God damn it, it's on the tip of my tongue as well. Come on, guys, help me out here. Birth, Dragon's Heaven, Pop Chaser. No, no, no. No, it's got... My memories of it are so, like, vague. I can't summon any of my memories. No, it's not a Cream Lemon OVA. No, it's it was like a 6-episode OVA. Sci-fi, like on a different planet. It starts off on like a desert kind of planet, and I think there's like bounty hunters involved. Like they're chasing someone down, some kind of criminal, an alien maybe. This is a good this is good stream content. Can you guess the 80s OVA I'm thinking of? It's fairly well known. It's not like it's not too obscure. I could literally just look for it if I like went through my like watch list or whatever. I could probably just go through like the recommendations and find it. What's something that's like fairly similar? On the Desert as a Bounty Hunter, 80s is 6 episodes. Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's 6 episodes. I say Bounty Hunter, I may have just been making that up. But like, it has that kind of vibe. Fuck, man. What's the similar kind of anime that I could go on the Mal page for and look at the recommendations and maybe find it? Dirty Pair, maybe? Not quite the same, but... Oh, it's Iria. Iria Zeram, or however you say it. It's actually a 90s OVA. Sorry, my bad. But kind of, you know, in a similar vein. Oh, discotheque.
宇宙代表作ゼイラムシリーズ惑星マイスを舞台に繰り広げるエディション
Yeah, I watched the first episode of this like ages ago. But I remember thinking it was pretty cool. But anyway, why did we get onto this? I don't even remember how we got onto this. Get on Mal and show all the embarrassing 10s you gave. No, the only thing you'll see if I log on to Mal is like an endless watch list. I don't know if I can't even remember if I gave any ratings on Mal, to be honest. Probably did like ages ago. I don't think I remember my password. Let's try that. Nope. Okay. My bad. Nope, neither. I'm going through all the passwords, guys. it's not. Oh no, it's because the username's wrong. Sorry. There we go. Plan to watch over 1,000. That's still better than my Letterboxd, which is at almost 4,000. But yeah, it's kind of embarrassing. Yeah, we were going to talk about my podcast, which, by the way, yeah, I've basically, okay, so this is the thing. I've basically been going crazy all day working on a podcast that I've had in mind for a long time. So it originated with me and a buddy of mine who we've always wanted to do a podcast together, and we're just constantly like searching for ideas for podcasts, like a gimmick for a podcast. And I, for whatever reason, always liked the idea. I mean, not for whatever reason. I know exactly what the reason is. But I like the idea of a podcast where you start with a topic. Like, you give yourself a topic. So it could be anything you're vaguely interested in. It could be a work of art, it could be an artist, it could be, I don't know, a historical period, something. And you just start from that starting point, and you just go wherever your research and your interests lead you, such that by the end of the episode of the podcast, you may arrive at something completely different. So the idea was to kind of recreate in podcast form something resembling maybe a train of thought. And I kind of talked about this in my that video, Films from the End of the World, or whatever it's called, in one of the method sections. This idea of a kind of free-form structure. Yeah, a kind of stream of consciousness type of thing. So you would give yourself the starting point, the topic, the subject, and then you would, for a week or 2 weeks or whatever, you would do research. So, for example, if I was to start with, I might as well just talk about the specific example that me and my friend started with, that we eventually never made into an actual podcast, but we may do in the future. But the original idea was to do a podcast on Mishima, Yukio Mishima, the writer. And so I was like, okay, this is the starting point. It's kind of arbitrary. I think we were hanging out one time, and I was just like, we were talking about like famous Japanese authors or something. I was like, oh, do you know Mishima? And so we started talking about Mishima, and then I was like, okay, how about we just do a podcast about Mishima? We just like research his life, his work, we read his books, and we just go from there. And so when I started researching Mishima, I started getting interested in like the Japanese novel, like the history of Japanese novels in the early 20th century. I got into what we call the I novel, which was like a kind of autobiographical novel style that became popular in the early 20th century in Japan, very confessional. And then off that also, because Mishima was big on the emperor and the like symbolic position of the Japanese emperor in Japanese culture and society, I started like researching the history of like Japanese emperors and like the place that the emperor occupies in Japanese like political ideology. And so then I started getting into like how reinstating the emperor as this like representative of Japanese culture really came as kind of a reaction to Western influence on Japan. And so then I got into all of like Japan's interactions with like the outside world and the West and like imperialist ventures and all that. So just starting from Mishima, I ended up exploring all of these different topics, reading all of these different books, and I thought this could be kind of cool if a podcast was structured like this, in a kind of stream of consciousness way. Instead of being like, okay, this is the episode on Mishima, and we're just going to do like a Wikipedia summary of Mishima's work and his life and the themes of his books. Why do that? Why do a podcast series like that when, like, I'm not an authority on Mishima, so why am I going to be the guy to do a podcast on this? Like, there's a very limited amount of things that I realistically could be considered an authority on. So if you're going to do a podcast, you need to I wanted to find a kind of gimmick, a kind of format that would be different. I'm always looking for medium specific kinds of formats, and what I mean by that is like, what's a podcast structure? And I do this with my videos as well, or I try to do it with my videos. What's a kind of format or a structure that like lends itself to the way we interact with media on the internet, the kind of media environment we inhabit on the internet? What is it all about? What does it feel like? How does it take shape? And trying to recreate that in like a podcast form. In this case, a podcast, but it could be in like a video essay form or whatever. And to me, being on the internet is all about just kind of losing yourself, getting lost down like a research rabbit holes where you start researching one thing and you end up on something completely different. And there's something very interesting to me about that, because that's also how I think, and I think like how most people think, probably. I mean, we've all experienced that thing where we start thinking about something and, like 5 minutes later, we're on a completely different topic and we can't remember how we got there. Same thing with conversations. That's how dialogue usually works. So I thought, instead of trying to be an authority on a topic for one episode and then moving on to a different topic for the next episode and just doing a boring kind of podcast like that, because that's what you have. The only two options are really like do a kind of topic-bound podcast where you research something and then do a podcast about it, or do a kind of personality-bound podcast where you just bank on the fact that you and your friends' conversations and banter is so thoroughly entertaining that you can just make a podcast out of it. And like, I don't really have faith in either of those options for myself. Like, if I was just doing a podcast about cinema, maybe I could be an authority on that. But whenever I venture outside of that field of expertise, like, who am I to speak? Like, who am I to be the guy who's going to do a podcast about this thing? And in terms of like banter and like pure charisma, like, I don't think I really have that either. So what else can you do? Well, maybe there's something interesting about just kind of laying out a journey that you went on, a research journey that just paints a picture of your thoughts and the way you went from this topic to this other topic, and then how you ended up on this completely different topic, and the connections you created between all of these different things. And maybe even the idea would be that every episode, every subsequent episode would start from a topic that was mentioned in a previous episode. So let's say in the first episode, I happened at some point to mention, I don't know, Robinson Crusoe, the novel Robinson Crusoe. Then that could be a starting point for like episode 8, somewhere down the line. And the idea was that after a while, this kind of complex web of connections and associations would start to emerge. So like everything we talk about starts to be connected to everything else we've talked about. And so, and I think I talked about this in that video as well, the idea that like, the thing with this kind of freeform structure is that because there's no destination in mind, because there's no like thesis, like this is what I'm going to talk about, this is the point I'm going to make, like you end up touching on like loads of different topics to the point where they all start to resonate with each other to one degree or another. Like I might bring something up in one episode and be like, you know, this kind of joins, this kind of connects to something we were talking about in a previous episode. And so every single topic starts to enhance, starts to amplify and deepen every other topic. Because I may have like offhandedly mentioned something in one episode and then I go into it a bit deeper in a later episode, so that like retroactively deepens the thing that I mentioned in the previous episode or whatever. And for what, I don't know why, I just really like that kind of structure. The idea of just like, you don't know where it's going to go and you're just following whatever's of interest to you in that moment. And it's really all about just building content, in this case a podcast, around your like lifestyle, around my lifestyle. Because like I was talking about earlier, I go through like phases of interest in things. So like one week I might be really interested in like philosophy, I might be reading loads of philosophy. The next week I'm just like reading loads of novels. Next week I'm just watching loads of movies or whatever. So because I'm always all over the place and I'm constantly moving, I want to create a kind of content that sort of matches that rhythm, that pattern in some way. And so I'm always searching for a gimmick, for a format that could allow me to just live my life and be, you know, follow whatever I'm interested in at that moment and somehow make that into content. You know, instead of having to like fixate on one thing for a month in order to make like a big video or something like that, because I know that that's not how my brain works. So yeah, so that's basically the idea. Sorry, let me catch up on chat here. Well, this is a very encouraging message. I only watched that video until the first method. Well, you know what? You don't know what you're missing out on, man. That was a great video. Anyway. The boys from Cinema of Meaning were great at this. Oh, Cinema of Meaning. I don't think I've ever heard of that. Is that a podcast? So what do? They start with one particular film, and they just like go wherever it leads them, or because this seems like their episodes would be specifically focused on these particular films. But yeah, I'll check this out anyway. You don't need to be an authority or have immense charisma to just post. On the internet, anyone can stream, even when they're not heard. Well, yeah, I mean, sure. But I'm always, like, searching for some kind of like original style or format, or at least something that feels appropriate for the way I think about things, the way I operate. And in terms of like just making content about one specific topic or whatever, I already have my YouTube channel, my YouTube videos where I kind of do that. So the idea for a podcast would be to find a different kind of content that's not just the same as my videos but in podcast form, you know. And so so at the moment I've been writing the first episode. Well, it's kind of a prologue for the podcast, an episode 0 kind of thing. And it's getting pretty like meta, and like it's becoming a deconstruction of the podcast form. It's getting kind of weird, but I think it'll be interesting. And I want to have this first episode done and recorded by the end of the month, probably, yeah. You'll need a basic written structure to a point, though, even if it's just a list of topics. Yeah, I mean, one of the ideas is probably just like, for the podcast, for the recording of the podcast to really accompany me through my journey of the research that I do. So I'll probably like record sections of the podcast episode like separately. So like, for example, if a research project for an episode lasts like 2 weeks, for example, let's say the first few days I'm like researching the starting point, the starting topic. And so I might like record 20 minutes on that based on what I've discovered on those, across those first few days of research, whatever interesting stuff I've come up with. And like just do that 20-minute recording, then a few days later maybe do another section, and so on and so forth, and then like put it all together so it becomes like this collage of these different moments along the journey that was that period of research for that episode, to the point where like some episodes might take a week, some episodes might take multiple weeks. Like, it just depends on where I feel like it's appropriate to end the research. When has the episode like become this full kind of complete narrative that I can package into a podcast episode, you know? And that'll be kind of tricky to figure out. I mean, it'll definitely be a very experimental podcast, but I just want to make that experimentation entertaining. So that's kind of what I'm working on at the moment, how to make this interesting. I'm also thinking about how I should like release it, because it won't be on my main channel. I don't really want it to be associated with Studio Assets, but I don't know how. I like the idea of like a kind of obscure thing that just exists on the internet, like almost like through word of mouth. Like, I think what I'll do for the prologue is I'll kind of just like circulate it. Like, I'll share it with a bunch of people, get it around, Maybe post it on my like second channel. Because I want it to be this kind of obscure object, theory of obscurity kind of thing, and create a kind of mystique around it. Because it will be very strange and very different, like I said. And so I'm hoping that it could become popular in that kind of niche, obscure kind of way. It definitely won't be like I won't be appealing to any kind of mainstream trends or anything like that. So I'll have to find a different way for it to work. Like that nonsense channel. Yeah, I might post it like on that channel just to generate a little bit of, I don't know, interest, just to put it out there. And then I don't know, I might create like another Patreon or like another thing just for that podcast. I'll check it out for sure. I'm off to watch the new Monogatari episode. Okay, well, have fun. Yeah, I need to watch the new Monogatari season. I think the reason I'm putting off watching the new Monogatari season is because if I watch it, I know that I'll just like start thinking about my Monogatari video again, and I'll feel the pressure, and I'll probably have like loads more ideas for the video as well. I can't be dealing with that right now. The thing with Monogatari is I have to be like in a Monogatari phase to watch it and to write about it. There's some stuff like that where like some works of art, some specific artists where like sometimes I'll just be in a them phase. Like Peter Greenaway is one of those filmmakers who like when I'm not in a Peter Greenaway phase, like I barely ever think about him, but once in a while I'll just like get really into Greenaway's films. I'll just rewatch all of his films. And Monogatari is kind of like that. I just have to be sometimes I'll just get really into it again and just rewatch all of it. And right now I'm not really in a Monogatari phase, so I don't really want to watch the new season. I want to wait until I'm back into a phase. Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of good stuff about the new Shinobu arc, which I was looking forward to reading that arc when I was reading through the light novels, but now it's been adapted, so I'll just watch that. But yeah, I've seen a lot of good clips and screenshots from those episodes. Looks pretty cool. Yeah, see you, man. See you in the next one. I'll probably wrap up soon anyway. So yeah, the plans for the near future. Let's talk about the plans. So, next week, well actually I don't know if it'll be out next week, but right now I'm working on a video that will hopefully be a lot shorter than this. Like I said earlier, a video about a Rivette film, a Jacques Rivette film. After that, I might do the anime video that I talked about, because that one will probably do pretty well on my channel. But in the meantime, I'm going to be driving myself crazy working on this podcast, which I want to get out as soon as possible, just because I'm curious to see if anyone will be interested in it. But yeah. I wish I had another beer, to be honest. Maybe 2 beers isn't enough anymore. Maybe I need 3 beers. Is that how you become an alcoholic? Am I an alcoholic? Damn. Oh, I feel like going out and doing something. Should I go for a late night walk? Is that crazy? I can hear people outside. I feel like there's something going on today. I feel like there's some kind of event here in Marseille. I don't know what it is though. I might go out for a quick walk. The episode was delayed for a week. Well, that's what you get. That's what you get for trying to leave the stream, Alec. Nobody leaves. Okay? Oh, hey, Just a Pun. How you doing? Have you been here this whole time? Or have you just arrived? Have another drink and go for a walk. I don't have any more drinks, man. That's the problem. I just, like, earlier, like, literally, maybe like an hour or two before the stream started, I was like, huh, I could do with some beers for this stream. And so I went to the corner shop to buy some beers. I just bought 2. Because surely, I mean, I almost only bought 1. I was like, 1 beer's fine, right? Like, that's more than enough. And then I was just looking at this other beer and I thought, that one looks pretty good. So I bought both of them, and they weren't that expensive either, considering the content, the alcohol content. But yeah, 3 beers would have been madness. Until I've become rich from this podcast, I can't afford to just buy 3 beers on a whim. Just arrived. Well, you're arriving just at the end of the stream, unfortunately. Not that it was a particularly riveting stream, but, you know, it was kind of chill. Oshinoko was delayed too. That's been incredible, by the way. Where are they at in the anime? Where are they at? Have they've done the play, right? I feel like I've seen people talking about the play arc. Go for a walk. The urge to drink will fade a little. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm not actually an alcoholic. I will be able to survive without another drink. But yeah, I really feel like going for a walk, and it's surprisingly cool at the moment in Marseille. It's usually scorching hot, but it's been pretty cool the past few days. So it could be a nice little walk, nighttime walk. I mean, it's 11:30 at the moment here, by the way. So yeah, not a normal time for a walk, but is it a one-person podcast? Or well, so yeah, so you kind of missed the little presentation I just did for my idea for the podcast. Will it be a one-person pod? Well, the prologue will be. The prologue that I'm working on at the moment will be a one-person podcast. But after that, so the original idea, which dates back to like 2 years ago maybe, was an idea that I was coming up with a friend who now lives in Japan, which makes it very hard to like synchronize and record things together. But yeah, future episodes may be with my buddy Liam from Japan. but for now it's a solo venture. Yeah. Yeah, as in, so have they just finished the play arc, or are they on the play arc? Because that's, how far is it? Because I'm not caught up on the manga at the moment. Like I haven't read the last arc, the movie arc. So the play arc isn't that far in, really, is it? I mean, I guess it's only the second season of the anime, right? So it makes sense. It'll probably be like a, how many episodes are there? It'll probably be like a 4 or 5 season show, right? I would imagine. But yeah, I feel like the hype for Oshinoko has died down a lot. Like, that was massive when that first season started airing. I even made that video, didn't I? Which was a pretty good video, by the way. Yeah, I haven't finished the manga. Wait, the manga isn't over. It's not finished yet, right? It's still ongoing. Yeah, I need to... I should have just caught up with it like on a weekly basis. I should have just stayed caught up with it, I mean. Because once you lose track... Like, it's the same with Chainsaw Man. Like, since I've kind of lost the track of it, like, it's really hard to, like, jump back into it. Because it's like, oh, there's like 50 chapters I need to read. And I can't really remember exactly what chapter I ended on. And, yeah, but I'll probably finish it when the manga ends. Which I presume is, like, not too far off, right? Because, like, the movie arc was supposed to... It seemed like that would be, like, the last arc. But I get the impression that it's not. Yeah, your video gave me a perspective I didn't consider. Yeah, well, yeah. I said that like... Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, I'm a genius. Yeah, that video is pretty good. That's actually a pretty good video. Because the way that video worked, which is kind of similar to the mode of thought that I was just talking about earlier when I was talking about the podcast, which was, the idea was that I started like just, okay, Oshinoko, what can I say about this thing? And like, what can I say about Aka's manga, all of his manga? Because they seem so different, so like, what can I explore here? What are the common themes and all that? So I just gave myself, I didn't like impose like a thesis or an argument that I was trying to prove or argue. I was just like, I'll just go wherever the themes lead me. And it turned out that, yeah, that like all of his work has a lot of like common themes, despite the differences in genres and styles and like tones between his manga. It's actually pretty cohesive. And like, I was able to get to those points because I gave myself that kind of freedom. It was a very open process, research process for that video. I was just like, okay, so this series is kind of about this, and that kind of connects with this element of that manga, and this connects with that, and this, you know. And I really wanted that video to be kind of like improvisational. I didn't want it to be me just reading a script. I wanted it to be me, like I would write notes, obviously, but then just kind of improvise, and just like for it to give it that feel of I'm just talking through these series in a kind of freeform way. But I just couldn't get I couldn't get it right. So I ended up just reading the script, so it turned into a kind of conventional video essay, even though the whole point was to not do a conventional video essay. So yeah, I was kind of disappointed with the presentation of the video. I wanted it to be different, but the content of my like analysis I think is pretty solid. Better than Econ's. Yeah, well, Econ's video was more just about like the culture, like the social aspect, right? Of like idols and stuff. Yeah, I didn't think it was very interesting either. I felt like a lot of his points were kind of basic. I think there were a few sections where he kind of started getting into something more interesting with the whole like reincarnation angle and like stuff like that. Which is funny because I actually gave him some like notes on his script for that video when he was working on it. Nothing too like big or anything, but he was looking for like second opinions, I guess, on the video, and I took a look at the script and gave him some ideas. But yeah, I didn't think that was. It definitely wasn't one of his best videos. The way they animated the theatre show absolutely blew me away. Yeah, I'll have to watch the anime. Did I watch the first season? I can't even remember. I think I just watched the first episode. And then I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. And then I read the manga. Yeah, I don't think I actually... Yeah, I didn't watch the rest of the first season. But it looks like the production value seems pretty solid. I always felt like his never had a strong thesis. Yeah. I mean, I don't really remember it, to be honest. It was ages ago, but it just felt pretty standard. Like, pretty... Oshinoko is about, like, how idols are treated in Japanese society and the dark side of the idol culture, you know. It seemed like a pretty basic observation to me, and not particularly interesting. So yes, my video is way better than Econ's. Yeah. Anyway, you guys got any more questions, any more stuff you want to talk about while I kind of wind down the podcast here? I'm always happy to just chat with you guys. Thesis, not Aka, no blah, but that doesn't take away from the... Oh, no, I think Justapun was talking about Econ's video, not having a thesis. Not the series. Have you finished reading The Moon? The manga, The Moon, the mecha... No, I never finished that. I read I think I read a few chapters. But that's another one. I think that was one of those manga where I was like, when I was originally planning on maybe reading manga on stream, when I thought that might be a not an incredibly boring thing to do, I think that was a manga that was like, maybe I should keep this for the stream, because it looks pretty interesting. And I've seen people compare it to I don't know, like Evangelion or Bokurano and stuff like that. It's better to read it alone. What? Why? Why is that? What would me reading it on stream like? What would that change about my experience? Do I have to be alone in a dark room? Akasaka doesn't stay focused either. Lol, I'm out. Watch the show. Yeah, I mean, yeah, especially with Oshinoko, he's kind of all over the place. But yeah, okay. Well, see you, man. Have a good one. Have a good night. Have a good afternoon. Whatever time zone you're in. It's the direct inspiration for Bokurano. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. You'd be worried about reading chat and other things relating to the stream instead of just the read. Yeah, so you're saying I need to be focused on it. Who did the Moon? Who's the author of the Moon? I forget. I'm sure you'll inform me. I'm not even going to look it up. I'm going to let you tell me. What else did he do? Ah, yes. George Akiyama. Is he the that horror the horror manga guy? What's it called? God damn it. What's his other famous manga that he did? Huh. Maybe that's not who I'm thinking of then. Let me think. George. No, I'm not thinking of Hino. See, this is what I'm talking about. All of these names, I just get them all confused. And I never know who did what. Because I'll just remember that, like, oh yeah, the guy who did the Moon, I remember that he did another thing that I also wanted to read. But I can't remember what thing that was, and so I just get confused. It might be Zenigema. I don't think so. No, I think I'm just confusing him with someone else. But yeah, I guess he didn't do anything else that was like particularly popular. Maybe I was thinking about this. I mean, I don't know if this has ever been like translated or anything. I don't know how iconic or popular any of these were in Japan, but like to me, like none of these like stick out to me as being particularly well known, at least in the Anglosphere. But this guy might have been what I'm thinking about, because I probably confuse him with any of the other kind of horror-like iconic characters, like Gege and all that kind of stuff. So I was probably thinking of this. Yeah, I never go on AniList. Old habits. Oh, he did. Okay. Yeah, I just need to read more old manga, you know. Bara no Sakamichi, what's this? Madara's mother. Huh. Sounds intriguing. I'm assuming. Yeah. Terorin, man. What is this about? The cover looks very it's very intriguing to me. Derelict Man. What are we dealing with here? What is the what is the premise of... I want to know what this is about. I'm a big fan of Zenigiba, but it's only been translated in Italian. Yeah, I mean, I can manage Italian. I'll just have to focus a bit more. Where was I? So it'll probably be on Mangadex, right? Am I blind? Guinea zipper. Oh, the first 3 chapters have been translated in English. Hagurigumo, yeah, Asura, yeah. Bare no Sakamichi is one of his few 70s works I haven't read due to it not being available in ebook format. The cover for Deroin Man on Mangadex is actually of the separate volume containing the last arc, which was omitted in other releases of the series. Wow, you really know a lot, don't you? You're a treasure trove of information. You need to be present for all of my streams, so whenever I have a manga-related question, you're just there to fact check me. It's about a guy who tries to kill himself but ends up with an incomprehensible speech, deformed face, and a god complex. That sounds great. It's a tragedy, but it's treated as a comedy. That sounds great. Oh, he's your favorite mangaka? Okay, yeah. Oh, sorry, yeah, I didn't see that. Yeah, that makes sense then. So what would you say are the defining features of his work? What differentiates him from other 70s kind of mangaka? Because obviously I'm not that familiar with the context of the medium at that time. But he seems like he kind of went for different kinds of... I mean, from what I've heard about The Moon, for example, seems like he wasn't afraid to go in pretty extreme kind of psychological, on tragic directions. But yeah, I should do streams dedicated to a specific mangaka. Although with older mangaka, obviously a lot of their works aren't translated, which is unfortunate. So yeah, so this is the one that got a movie adaptation, right? It's the Mori Masaki one. His works are written in a more naturalist way, with a great focus on the mental state of his protagonists and how they're not the heroes. Okay, yeah. So more like kind of moral ambiguity, maybe, psychological focus. I just always really like the paneling in like 60s, 70s manga. I feel like there's a lot more creativity. I mean, especially like earlier manga. Like your Tezukas, your Ishinomoris and stuff. There was a lot of very creative, experimental paneling. I feel like you don't really get so much anymore. I mean, obviously it's easy to get put off by the more kind of simplistic, iconic style, but I don't know, I like it. Yeah, I'll check out some of Akiyama's work. Maybe next stream I might read some. I mean, there's a great element of God being dead, so the fights are more competition to see who gets to be God, and the moon is treated as his God figure throughout the manga. So then he really ties everything to his writing, how he views the end of everything. So yeah, so is the moon kind of like the most representative of his like works? The culmination. When can I sort these by like release date? Okay, so the moon was relatively like early on in his career, I guess, like kind of mid period. So when did he stop? What was his last? When did he died? Is he still alive? He's still on it. He died in 2020. So what did he do last? Did he stop doing manga? '90s? So was this his last thing? This sounds pretty interesting too. Oh. Huh. The story opens with Azami killing his father who abused him. Interesting. See, this is what I like about older manga. You know, there's kind of stark, like, violent premises, plots. But yeah, Akiyama seems like a pretty interesting guy. What else did we have on, what was I on? Mangadex. Dostoevsky's Dog. It's a collection. That rings a bell too. Yeah, I'll have to see which ones have been translated. Um, the Marquis de Sade manga. Interesting. Who are some of your other favorite mangaka? Shoot. Tell me what should I read? Who are the greats? Do you have a particular like period? Like, are you especially into like 70s manga or stuff like that? Or are you just like a manga guy in general? Which Gutsy Frog are Inca subs on, by the way? Are they just on the first series? Had that never been translated before? Frankenstein Syndrome Girl. That's an interesting title. Okay, it's not the same thing. Let's go girl auditions and channel. Oh, they're not doing Gutsy Frog. Wasn't someone doing that recently? I feel like I saw someone posting about a recent, like, ongoing sub of Gutsy Frog. Maybe that was someone else. Or has it already been subbed? Huh. Yeah, I love Pewter. I've seen a bunch of episodes. Raws. So I couldn't quite follow the dialogue, but yeah, the animation's great. It's very wacky. I think I got onto Pewter because I think Anno mentioned it as one of his like favorite anime once, and yeah, it was intriguing to me. What about the what's it called? The Goku no Daiboken. The old one. Is that hasn't been entirely subbed, has it? Because I remember watching the first few episodes of that and it was pretty cool. The Monkey King, Journey to the West, the old show. which I think Dezaki was one of Dezaki's early episode direction roles. There's been official subs for Gutsy Frog, but they look terrible TI-wise. Yeah, I guess for some reason I was under the impression that Gutsy Frog hadn't been TL'd and that someone was doing it recently. Maybe it was just someone who was talking about the show recently, and I thought someone was doing the TL. Well, yeah. Well, now that the pewter, now it's being subbed. I need to get on that. Need to catch up. Yeah, the opening is great. It's like one of my favorite anime openings. Not really interested in any Journey to the West adaptations. Well, yeah, but I mean, I don't think it makes sense to frame that anime like as just being a Journey to the West adaptation. Like it's a landmark anime, like that's known for its, you know, experimentation and animation and stuff. And like, I think after a while they didn't really like have scripts anymore. They just did storyboards and stuff, and it's an important show. Like, I'm not interested in it because it's a Journey to the West adaptation. I don't give a shit about that. But it's just a really cool looking show. I remember there being like old, like shitty Italian subs for it. I think I watched those. I think someone did do some English subtitles for like the first few episodes. Never seen its importance being mentioned. I think there was an old what was his name? The anime, was it Anime Pages? I think he wrote an article about it back in the day. But no, yeah, it was a pretty important show because of the freedom it gave to like animators, and I think a lot of big animators kind of started off on that show, and it was pretty controversial at the time. I think it got cancelled because of like parents thinking it was too naughty because of the main character's behavior. Very wild. From the late 60s, in terms of experimentation, Sabetoichi is one of the best. Yeah, that's another one of my favorites. I always think about, like, I think it's in the first episode actually. There's that scene with like a fire. There's like an action scene around. There's like there's some kind of fire, and the blind guy, like, you know, cuts the fire and like puts it out, and then he's fighting in the dark, and like I just remember. And there's a lot of stuff with like water in that show, like real water that they just put in the image, in the shot. Yeah, there's a lot of really cool experimentation in that show. A lot of great ideas for like action scenes and stuff. A lot of great visual ideas, and that's an early Rintaro show, isn't it? But yeah, Sabetoichi is great. Episode 3, was that episode 3? Was it? Yeah, I remember it being pretty early on. But yeah, that show's great. I haven't seen all the episodes though. I need to get back on that. Yeah, a lot of real life stuff. which I guess was, I mean, I don't really, like, I'm not an expert or anything. I'm assuming that wasn't a very popular thing to do at the time. Although I guess Tatsunoko Pro did that a lot as well, using like real life. I think they did, like, didn't they use like explosions and stuff like that? I remember like in like Judo Boy and stuff like that, there being a lot of like real life imagery, like live action stuff integrated into the animations. But Zabutoichi, was that 68? 69? Something like that. So that might have been before Tatsunoko Pro started doing that, I don't know. Because it's the kind of show that I like watching. Yeah, it's not a show that I would like binge watch. I feel like, yeah, I have to be in the right mood to watch it. Just like once in a while, you just put an episode on, and it's kind of like soothing. Yeah. Even though there's like, you know, a lot of action, but it has that kind of philosophical Zen kind of aspect to it. And that's an Ishinomori manga, isn't it? Used a lot of techniques before Judo Boy. Yeah, yeah, I'm sure they did. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. Judo Boy was just like, I think, just a lot of it. Like that's why I like about Judo Boy. It's like very kind of what's the word? Kind of maximalist. Like there's a lot of different visual ideas. But yeah, I'm sure it's not the first to do it. That reminds me that I need to finish the Cyborg 009 adaptation, the 70s one, 79 one, or whenever it was. I've seen like the first, I don't know, like the first arc, I guess, like the first like 10 episodes or whatever, and I was really into it. Talking of Ishinomori, that is. But yeah, I need to get back into Cyborg. Yeah, I mean the colours in Kurenai Sanshiro are incredible. I just like the over the top, colourful, kind of experimental, wacky side of it. That's why I love that show. Yeah, I need to read the manga as well. I can only assume that the manga is really good. I was just reading, what's it called? Jun. What's the title? The full title of that Ishinomori manga? It's kind of like experimental manga about like the artistic process, which is also very good. That's another thing that like once in a while I'll just like read a chapter of that. Jun Fantasy something fantasy. Fantasy World Jun, yeah. That's great. That's a great manga. Yeah, well obviously, yeah, the opening of the 79 adaptation is pretty famous for obvious reasons. One of my favorites too, but that's expected for any manga. Oh, is that sorry, was that like a normie opinion? To say that Fantasy World Jun is great. I'm not familiar with like the manga elitist stances on manga, so maybe that's too obvious. I need to find some more obscure manga like Frankenstein Syndrome Girl. I bet you haven't read this one, have you? Oh. Yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense that that would be like a pretty well-known one, because it's the one where he like just kind of goes off and just experiments, and is like, "Hey, look at this." So I guess it makes sense that it would be much appreciated by manga fans. But yeah, I need to read more manga. I need to deepen my knowledge. Well, got some fireworks in the background there. Probably couldn't hear that on the mic, but I have a pretty solid like baseline knowledge of manga, but like considering the amount of manga that I read, which is like basically none, I have like a pretty good amount of knowledge, but I just need to read more. I just never find the time or the motivation to do it. Been on the lookout for Gyara listings on auctions because it's like it doesn't have an ebook. Yeah, I mean when you're looking for old manga, it can get a bit tricky. I have like 3 old Garo magazines from one from I think the late 60s, one from the 70s, and one from the 90s. That I just bought like on a whim on Rakuten or whatever it's called. I was like, wouldn't it be cool to have some old Garo magazines? Because I'm kind of like big into like that era, and like Gekiga and some of the like Hitouma kind of style stuff. But obviously I don't read Japanese, so it's just like. Well, actually, I bought them when I was like starting to learn Japanese, so I thought it'd be cool to like read Garo magazines to practice my Japanese, but I never really got around to doing it. So do you so are you fluent in Japanese, or? Huh, so there's money pigs. And money crazy. I just read a lot of Japanese, but I wouldn't say I'm fluent in, say, speaking or forming sentences that don't sound like a manga character. Yeah. I guess that's what happens when you just read loads of manga. That's your main exposure to Japanese. It's a side story spin-off. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. That makes sense. Altre volte rendono l'uomo schiavo, altre volte ancora corrompono l'animo umano generando onde di Maybe I should just read it in Italian. I can brush up on my Italian. L'ho fatto per I soldi. Provarci di nuovo, su. Se non ci riesci non sei un vero uomo. Va bene. È proprio ritardato questo qui. Sei l'unico che non riesce a saltare. My Italian's terrible. E ti sei pure buscato il raffreddore. I don't know what that word means. Non è niente. Gli stupidi non prendono il raffreddore. Ma sentilo. Vai, Futaro. Sì, subito. Prego. Tira troppo vento così mi rovino la pettinatura. Anyway. I guess that should about do it. I think it's been... Has it really been 3 hours? Jeez. Okay. Anyway, yeah. I need to check out some more manga, man. But yeah, anyway, thanks Gaijin man for keeping me company. Have a good afternoon / well, evening now, I guess. Have a good Brazilian evening. I think I might go for a little walk, a little midnight walk, and see what's going on outside. That was a good stream. Pretty chill stream, but that was nice. So yeah. Have a good one. Love you guys. See you in the next one.